And we're live. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and impromptu. I know I always do my podcast on Saturdays. It's Saturday, I'm doing it, but I didn't exactly announce it. So, yeah, 12:24 in the PM, New York time. All right, guys. Today I'm going to be putting up, I know every Tuesday and Saturday I put up a hero explained in a minute. Sometimes it's a villain. In this particular case, it's a super duper villain. It's going to be Hela. If you know the Norse mythology, it's Hel. Shares the same name as the realm of Hell. Anyway, from the Thor Ragnarok movie, that totally awesome, gorgeous chick who's like, Asgard is dead. And she crushes Thor's hammer, actually with her right hand. Yeah, that's her. So, explain. I'm going to push go live with that as soon as I'm finished with this podcast. You'll find the link in the description if you don't want to hunt for it. Anyway, guys, so I want to talk about several things today, all right? One of the things I want to talk about is Wonder Woman movie, okay? It's been announced this week, a little earlier this week, that there will be no end credit scene. So, here. I know that a lot of people say, okay, good, they don't have to copy Marvel. Here's the thing. A lot of people did a lot of work on that movie, all right? I was actually offered a position doing editing literally just 2 weeks ago, all right? A little less than 2 weeks ago, doing editing in Toronto. I'm in the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, and I was offered a position doing that. And I thought, wow, because somebody actually saw, all the editing that I do on my videos. And I thought, wow, like I feel good as hell that somebody actually felt, that they could, that I'd be worthy of doing something like that just because of the totally amateur hour crap that I'm doing, on YouTube. So seeing, hey, Dick Fillmore, good morning, sir. So just seeing that somebody was willing to, somebody from the filmmaking union specifically, damn, I feel good. Like, no joke. Every so often, you just got to take a minute and, give yourself a job well done. So, yeah, I feel good about that. But I couldn't take it because it would interfere with the rest of life. And starting out lower in the profession, you're not making a whole lot of money. And it would take too long, I feel, to actually get into it. So it was a decision. It was a decision. And literally, I think I would probably have to slow down on this channel by about 2/3 of my work. So thanks, man. I'm not going to take it, though. Dick just said, congratulations. So anyway, but I decided, I didn't make the decision snap judgment. No, instead, I seriously looked into it, and I had a conversation. I'm like, let me see what all positions are out there and whatnot, because I was actually thinking more about doing sound, because I want my sound to be as good as possible, and I looked into sound editing, I looked into all these different things, and I'm looking at all the different things, like, best grip and what's it called, best boy, and things like that you see when you're looking at the closing credits, waiting for a Marvel movie to get to all the other end credit scenes. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, there's a lot of people who do a lot of work in these movies, and then actually being able to see the jobs that they do and asking, okay, so what exactly do these people do? That's wild, man. Like, that's seriously wild, all the stuff they do. So in my opinion, having an end credits at the end of a movie, it's kind of like, stick around. Maybe you're going to talk to each other, whatnot, but some people may actually stay and look and see, like all the credit anybody's ever going to get. Offers are worth celebrating. If a 10 wants to F you, you are awesome. You are awesome. But, what do you call it? Just the idea of like all the work these people put into it, and the only thing they're going to get is a name in the end credits besides a paycheck. Hey, I worked in the Wonder Woman movie. What'd you do? Catering. It's something. You got to meet Gail Gadot and all these different people, So that's something to me. So I feel that not putting an end credit scene in a movie, especially a superhero movie, why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it takes too much. It takes more imagination than anything else. It could literally just be a walk-on scene where, you're having a conversation. Captain America sitting there with his fist up like this while everybody else is eating shawarma because he's got a beard and he wants to hide it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fairly simple thing to just do a lousy end credit scene and give people a reason to stick through. Plus, people who are going to stick through anyways, and then they don't see an end credit scene, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. So I am here to tell you that the good news and the bad news is that there is no end credit scene. You make of it what you will. I think that there should be, but at least you don't have to stick around and see all the people who worked very hard on this movie. Moving on, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. guys. I think enough of you know that some people only come to my channel for my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reviews. The last episode just dropped last Tuesday. Good stuff, really good stuff. Ghost Rider's back, at least for a little while. Who knows how long he'll be back for? His mission is accomplished, essentially. But anyway, it's going to be premiering in January of 2018, so the top of next year. That's not too bad. The reason why it's pushed back a little bit is because, it's going to be on Fridays now. That, I think, is bad. If, first off, the Inhumans is going to be coming in between, all right? So, again, that's going to be in September. So at first it'll go to IMAX. I believe it's August it'll go to IMAX, or maybe it's September and it'll go over, but I think it's August. It's going to IMAX first. Just the first 2 episodes. You'll see it there. And then the exact same 2 episodes plus 6 others will premiere on Channel 7 or whatever ABC is, whatever that channel is for you guys. It will show up, and it will be 5 minutes of extra scenes for each of those 2 movies, mini movies. So an extra 5 minutes per episode that you didn't see in the IMAX. So I'm still planning on seeing it in the IMAX because why wouldn't I? And as nervous as a lot of people are getting because they're seeing some of these images for the Inhumans TV show, like, it doesn't look that great. One, they're not applying the CGI. When they showed Black Bolt, and there was one scene where they showed Black Bolt and Lockheed teleport down, like in the middle of, I guess, New York City or something like that. It actually looked pretty good. Friday night has changed due to streaming and DVR. You know what? You're right, Dick Fillmore. You're right. That's true. There won't be as many people watching it. I don't know. You might know better than I do. Somebody in the audience might know better than I do. If by having something on Friday nights, if you DVR it, will it still be accredited towards, people actually watching the show? I don't actually know. But, by having it on Friday nights, that's a pretty big deal. It shows an awful lot of... I think that the most confidence is on Thursdays, because Thursdays, prime time, 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock or whatever, especially that 8 o'clock hour. That's the main prime time. That's Tuesday or Thursday night TV watching time, right? So, whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, I think that the graphics on it, the CGI, will actually be good because it is going to be in IMAX. So I don't think that they would mess up on it necessarily. But it's going to be 8 episodes. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm actually looking more forward to the Inhumans TV show than I am to the next season of Game of Thrones, because that's going to be really short. It's going to be a lot of action, hard-hitting, and there's not going to be a resolution to anything because there's going to be one final season after that. I'm actually looking more towards the preview TV shows that Guardians of the Galaxy, Game of Thrones, different anyway. Okay. I'm actually looking more forward to the prequels that are coming out, those spin-off TV shows, also on HBO. All right, 18th of August, The Defenders will be coming out. 18th of August. So the only real big news so far is that Finn Jones, the guy who played Iron Fist, says that this is also only going to be, what do they say? They say 10 episodes or 8? No, I think they also said 8 episodes for this. They're really shortening seasons for a lot of these. I don't know what's up with that. But while usually it's 13 episodes for these TV shows, Jessica Jones, Daredevil season 1 and 2, and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, 13 episodes. It's only going to be 8. Or was it 10? Either way, it's going to be 8 or 10. It's one of those 2 even numbers, the real numbers. The only thing I can say is going to be good about that is there's going to be less screwing around, because that there's always that, usually it's around that 8th episode or so that they just they fall off a little bit. The 10th episode sometimes gets back into it, but they'll have something that kind of veers off into nowhere, and it's got to kind of bring you back by the 12th episode. Yeah, so maybe there'll be a lot less of that. It'll be more direct to TV action, I guess, So it could be a good thing for the Defenders. It's just with 4 main characters in it, plus 3 minor ones. I'm talking about the Daughters of the Dragon and Rosario Dawson as Dr. Claire Temple. There's going to be a lot of characters in there to try and get some good screen time. Plus, Sigourney Weaver is not a run-of-the-mill average bad guy, I still stick to my theory that she's going to be playing the Beast, not Mephisto or Blackheart or anybody like that. But Beastmaster, Game of Thrones to me is greater than Game of Thrones to me. Yeah, I do love Beastmaster. That old Eric Singer stuff. Actually, I think, you know what? I'm wondering if you're talking about. Isn't there a like a form of what is it called? American Ninja Warrior or something like that? That's on TV. I just saw the one with Stephen Amell recently. That was pretty good. Okay, here's the so it's going to be more of a coming of age story for Finn Jones for Iron Fist, which is good because it kind of sucked so far what we've gotten. So we'll see where this goes. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, okay, the big news on this for the podcast today is Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder's daughter, her name was Autumn. She was 20 years old and she committed suicide, apparently. This was way back in August. That sucks. That actually sucks. That really sucks big time. So he finally decided, he thought that he was going to work himself out of it. If you remember, Liam Neeson did the exact same thing. Liam Neeson did, oh, what's up, Lavoyer, Bird, what's up, buddy? Yeah, I didn't mind Iron Fist, I just didn't go, woohoo, for it like I did for the other ones. But anyway, what you call it, they, for crying out loud, where was I just at? Yeah, his daughter just committed suicide. Oh, maybe it was back in March. Actually, it was back in March, sorry. So he decided, yeah, Liam Neeson, that's where I was. Liam Neeson, after his wife died in a skiing accident, decided to keep working, and he just started making movie after movie after movie. He didn't care if the movie was good or not. He just brought himself and played the same Liam Neeson role that he always plays in all the movies. Like, really. Like, you think about the movie Taken, and you think about Star Wars Phantom Menace. What was the difference between Liam Neeson in those? One, he was in robes, waving his fingers a lot, and the other one, he was in clothes shooting people a lot. It's the exact same voice, the exact same attitude, the exact same everything. He's good at what he does, but even when you're talking about like Darkman back in the 80s, for crying out loud, the guy plays the same role in every single movie. He doesn't have a very wide range. He's like Ice Cube, right? And Ice Cube, when the guy's in a movie, hey, I love seeing Ice Cube on the film, but I always know the performance I'm going to get from Ice Cube. It's always, whether it's a comedy or a serious, action movie, it's always going to be that thing, which I love seeing him do it, but you expect that he's going to do that because that's what he do. That's what he does. That's what he does. Guys, I'm actually kind of in a rush because I know the wife is coming home, and Saturday we got to go out. Saturday is go out and party day. So, yeah. I need sun. Once in a while I need sun. I got to get out of this dungeon. So, R.I.P. Autumn. Hope Snyder finds peace. Yeah, I absolutely do. And you were talking about Mark Singer and Tanya. Oh, God, Tanya Roberts just looked so good in that, didn't she? Actually, you put your little smiley face with the hearts and the eyes things. Yes, I think you agree. My God, man, she was gorgeous. But, yeah, I do feel bad for Zack Snyder, and I hope that, yeah, his family does find some kind of way of getting through it. I mean, everybody can get through it. The question is, will they? Obviously, not obvious. I shouldn't say obviously. That's actually a kind of a dick thing of me to say. But when you're on the outside of that, it feels like obviously that yes, people will get through it, eventually. But some people can't. Like it all depends on the circumstances, those individuals, their state of mind, how other people around them are reacting and acting. So it's a weird kind of thing. But yeah, I do feel bad for Zack Snyder. Here's the thing. I still don't take back anything that I said about the DC Universe movies under his direction. Because I think that the worst I ever said was that Zack Snyder is not the right fit for this. And he needs to get his head out of his butt and either make these movies the right way, and stop trying to shove things on us or just move on. But this is kind of like one of those things. A lot of people look back into the presidency of Ronald Reagan, and they'll say, oh, okay, it explains all the stupid things that he did towards the end of his terms. Years later, we found out that he had Alzheimer's. Okay, interesting. Well, that's great, but he still screwed up while he was in there. All right, so somebody's responsible for saying, hey, dude's not right in his head. He needs to maybe consider stepping down. Same exact thing. Okay, I get it. He was going through a lot of, stuff, but nobody else needs to suffer because his creativity is down the toilet for this. You know what I'm saying? Again, all the love in the world, but I genuinely still feel, and I talked to Lewis, and Lewis from the Geek Fortress still feels the same way as well, that, yeah, it sucks what he was going through, Zack Snyder, but let's be realistic. He could have, he should have stepped down. He should have stepped down in the beginning because his mind just wasn't into it the way that it, I guess, should have been. The Voyeur, have a good one and enjoy that weekend time. I know the feeling. Yeah, my boy Liam in Schindler's List was dope. Okay. Dick, you can separate the artist from the man. We're all human. Yes, exactly. That's how I feel. He bowed out gracefully, which I think was good. Honestly, I think that he got the inspiration to bow out gracefully from Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck, everybody had a problem with Ben Affleck going into he's going to do a Daredevil. I don't think he did a bad job on Daredevil. I think a lot of other people did a bad job in making the film, but and editing the film, obviously. But I don't think Ben Affleck did a bad job as Daredevil, and I don't think too many people disagree with the performance that Ben Affleck did on Batman. BVS. He was awesome. My opinion, he was freaking awesome. I didn't like that he was using guns and shooting people, but that aside, his performance was amazing and spot on. That is Batman, the ideal Batman. God, could you imagine if he were going head to head with what's his name? Another tragedy story. Oh, for crying out loud, the guy who played Joker right before, Heath Ledger. Thank God I actually remembered his name. Jeez, on the spot, all right? But can you imagine if those two had went head-to-head in Dark Knight? That would have been amazing. I think that would have been so perfect. So that aside, though, dream casting aside, I think that when he bowed out because of his problems with alcohol addiction, and he's still going to do the movie, but he bowed out of the directing, and he gave it to Matt Reeves, I think is who he gave it to. Who's apparently not doing such a hot job with it right now. Who knows? But yeah, I think that Zach got a similar idea from him to just bow out gracefully. He gave the reins over to Joss Whedon, which I think that Joss Whedon's going to do a fantastic job. I'm hoping. Here's the thing. I know that he's going to do or I know that he would have done a fantastic job for Batgirl. All right. Right now, I don't know anymore. I think that he still could, because he's great with taking a character and giving incredible dimensions to this character. The Avengers movie was actually really good. All right, but Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, not so good, because there's all this foreshadowing that he had to do, all these things that he was told, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to somehow find a way to eke these things in there. And he did a pretty good job, but it wasn't that great. Now you look at the Justice League movie and all the foreshadowing they had to do there, right? It kind of stunk. Actually, by Justice League movie, I mean Batman vs. Superman. Now there's a Justice League movie, and there's going to be a lot going on. They've got to do the return of, they've already said, there's going to be the return of Superman in this, all right? Wow, he's dead for so long. Lovely. Duh. Not good. But that aside, I think that it's too soon for him. He bowed out of doing the next Avengers movie and all that stuff, and I think he was even being considered for doing Captain America Civil War, and he's just like, there's too much. You got me doing too much in these movies, and I can't do it justice. You could tell when he was on the red carpet for the premiere of Avengers Age of Ultron that he was exhausted, and he even said several times, he's like, he didn't pull a Josh Trank and just be like, I had a fantastic vision for the Fantastic Four, but because, we'll never hear from Josh Trank again until we see him on just whatever, where they are now, one of those kind of things. But yes, Jennifer Garner did suck as Elektra. I'm not going to disagree with that. And you dug Age of Ultron, last fight was comic book come alive. I agree, but there was too much, in my opinion, I think there was too much going on. I think there was way too much going on, and they really needed to take a step back, or at least make the movie longer, dare I say it. Just, they needed to give more breathing space to everyone. But, all the setup that they did, the thing with Claw was almost, Ulysses Claw, it was almost unnecessary, it's a good setup for the Black Panther movie, but couldn't they just done that in the Black Panther movie? Whatever. So, introducing the Black Panther, reintroducing Spider-Man for a third reboot, but this time over the Marvel Universe, bringing in Ant-Man and introducing his giant man ability, and there was just way too much on his plate. He himself said, like, he got burned out, and that's the reason why he just said, I'm quitting Marvel. He didn't quit superhero movies. He went off and he's like, I'm going to be doing superhero movies. We didn't know he was going to jump ship to DC. Whatever, man, whatever makes the guy happy. You know, I know that Batgirl would have made him really happy to just do Batgirl. Now he's jumping into a big movie, and he's going to be picking up the mess that was left for him, because everybody said it's a mess. Every single person involved said it was a mess. Diane Lane went on, was on a British talk TV show, and a caller called in and said, is this going to be, as Justice League going to be as good as the Avengers? And she kind of looks at the camera a little bit and she says, no, sorry, short and sweet, but no, it's not going to be. Diane Lane is an acclaimed actress. She's got her junk together. She's the kind of person who go on the record and say, this movie sucks, and they'll still bring her back for another movie, because she's one of those kind of people who give credit to a movie. You know what I'm saying? Gives if they're looking for Academy Awards, that's one of the ways to go. You know? Only thing that bothered me was the Banner Natasha forced relationship. There you go. You know, what did Natasha Romanova do in that movie? Oh, she was basically a sex object for the Hulk. Ooh, you know, wow, great. I'm actually, what's his name? Joss Whedon is a very classy guy, and I believe that he would not say it, but in my heart, no, like Alias, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know what I'm saying, Serenity and Firefly, same thing-ish. You know, all of the strong female lead movies that he's done, you know, as much as he looked like he wanted to do, he's been pushing to do a Black Widow movie for the longest time. Yeah, I think that really pissed him off a lot. I don't believe that he would say anything. Maybe when he gets older, maybe he'll say something about that, but I'm pretty sure it pissed him off that he was relegated to doing something like that. You know, that she didn't have a great role for herself. But anyway, yeah, I feel that Joss is going to be able to finish the film. I don't know if he's ready, if he's past his burnout from Avengers Age of Ultron, though, because that really did burn him the hell out. So it is what it is, and we'll find out shortly, I suppose. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to bow out. Actually, I did want to, somebody just last night, in the middle of the night, was commenting on my Dick Grayson Nightwing Explained in a Minute video that I put up last Tuesday, I guess it was. Also, get ready to look for, I think in June, over in the Geek Fortress, Lewis from the Geek Fortress, he's going to be throwing in, maybe they had to cut down the action time, Streets of Fire, Diane Lane. My man. Wasn't she pregnant during filming? Yes, she was actually pregnant during filming, the first trimester only, I believe. So, yeah, she wasn't really showing, but still. Maybe they had to cut down action time due to easy, sleazy romance. There wasn't anything sleazy about that either. It was literally just, you know, here, they're doing it. And then at the end, they were broken up. Like, there was no investment in it. But, what do you call it? I did want to talk about, somebody was saying, you know, put in the, crying out loud, put in, you know, Nightwing in the movies and get Damian Wayne in the movies. And I thought, you know what? As much as I felt that Age of Ultron was rushed, I think that DC, everything was rushed. After Man of Steel, everything that DC is doing for the most part is rushed. And that's not cool. I'm not cool with that. It doesn't need to be rushed. It needs to breathe. It needs to breathe. Like I said, like Lewis and I were talking about, we're never going to have another first time that Superman dies, you know? One of the things I was thinking about this morning, for no particular reason, was Captain America dying. You know, in the Ed Brubaker run, that was Captain America, the death of Captain America, right after the Civil War. We all thought he was going to die in the end of Captain America Civil War. That was a big deal, and we're all like, you know, like, I want it to happen, not because I hate Captain America. He's my favorite hero. I love Captain America, but I do want him to die. Why? Because I know that Marvel will do it right, and that will therefore resonate to all the other people who never read that Ed Brubaker story, or who did read it and just forgot about it, or people who don't even know who Captain America is. Like I said, I've lived in Saudi Arabia for 5 years, mostly just teaching, teaching English or third grade. And the kids over there know who Captain America is. They sell Halloween costumes over there of the different heroes. One of the heroes that is the biggest seller over there is Captain America. Why? It's because a lot of people don't know who Captain America actually is, but when you see the movie, you suddenly get it. He's not just a flag-wearing guy who throws around a garbage can lid. No, he's actually so much more than that, and he disagrees with America, or the politicians a lot, and different policies, and like he stands for what America should be, and like it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. But unless you actually watch the movies or read the comic books, you don't know that. Now with DC, do you think that anybody really got like we know more about who Superman is from the Christopher Reeve movies than we know from the Zack Snyder attached films? We just know, like Ma and Pa Kent saying, you don't owe anything to anybody. Oh, you don't need to be a hero. You don't need to let people live. No, maybe you shouldn't try and help people. Maybe you should just let them die. That is not Ma and Pa Kent. Not even in the New 52. That ain't Ma and Pa Kent. I don't want to hear that. Okay, I want Batman Year 2 with Reaper. Ooh, looking good, buddy. Looking good. They should let more organic. Agreed. They shoving too much comic book history in a few short films. Yes, it's killing me. They're trying to compete with Marvel despite their face, right? Cutting off your nose despite your face. Agreed, Bird. Agreed. They need to just let it breathe. Who cares what Marvel does? Put on your blinders. Who cares what Marvel does? Do you, boo, right? That's the thing that, the kids today usually say. Like, just do you. Be you, all right? Be DC. Let us feel the characters. And I chose my words carefully there. Let us feel these characters. I get excited when I read my comic books. When I'm reading Super Sons, I love those comic books. They're amazing to me. They're amazing, I love seeing Damian Wayne interacting with John Kent. Like, in my opinion, it's the best. The Champions movies, they're great. Do I think that Super Sons would be transferred well onto film? No. And all that I'm going around telling people, oh, dude, man, like, the Super Sons is great. It's great. It's great. And people will be like, okay, fine, I'll go see the movie. They see the movie. It's been Zack Snydered. Is that a thing? Can I make a proper noun into a verb? I just did. So it's been Zack Snydered. It's been Snyderfied. and people just like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. Super Sons suck. I'm like, no, the film sucked, but the comic is good. Trust me. No one's ever going to believe my word again. So you got fans talking about, dude, Batman vs. Superman is going to be the best, highest week one selling ever at the time. No, not so much. No, not so much. Nobody wants to see it anymore. Nobody wants to hear it anymore. Can you blame them? So I feel that the new MCU, that Peter Parker is going to take the shield and be the new Captain America. Bird, I'm going to disagree with you. Expert Medusa, 6151. I like Captain America to 100. Keeping it 100. How do you do the 100 thing on there? Like, I want to do that. You did that in the comments also. Also, welcome to the channel, brother. But, what do you call it? Yeah, actually, okay, yeah, the thing that I was thinking about with Captain America, I think that he is going to die pretty soon, but here's the thing. I think that this is what's going to happen. Right now, Spider-Man Homecoming is with co-starring Iron Man, all right? Marvel has a deal with Sony that they're going to do 2 Spider-Man movies and share characters, all right? Spider-Man gets to be in Infinity War, okay? And then they're going to do one more movie and share one character over there. I don't think it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. What I'm hoping, I think it's more hope than anything else, I think this time it's going to be Captain America. Okay, because if you guys harken back to the Civil War days, one of the biggest things that really killed us, all right, in the original Civil War, I'm talking about the original Marvel Civil War, not the official Civil War, American Civil War, what do you call it, is the Spider-Man versus Captain America, all right? Spider-Man went up against Captain America, thought that he was just going to kick his butt, and Spider-Man got his butt royally handed to him, right? Because here's Captain America, who's not even half as strong as Spider-Man, and Cap just puts the whooping on him. Finally, in the very end, Spider-Man gets and you get to see when they both do their leap backwards, Captain America can't jump quite as high as Spider-Man does, but he does it just as gracefully. And it's like, dude, I'm in love with this. But in the end, Spider-Man got off a good hit. And it was enough that Cap was like, holy crap, you know, and he didn't say it, but it was kind of that sense of, I don't think I could take another one of these. But also, I think that kid gloves were about to be off with Cap, you know, and they went head to head, and then all of a sudden an emergency came up, and Cap literally said, I need to go and take care of this. And he left his shield and everything. And later on, when he came back for his shield, Spider-Man left it there. That was nice of him. And he also started to realize what's going on. And he came and he got in Cap's face. Cap didn't flinch. And they were both ready to just go at it again for a moment. And then Spidey cracks a joke, because that's what he does. And I love that. And then they had their little, you know, conversation. Captain America quoted Mark Twain and talked about how, you know, doing what the government says isn't always the right thing, you know? And you look at it, like the Civil Rights Movement was a revolution against, you know, American policy, which wasn't right. It wasn't right. It can't be argued that it was right, you know? And sometimes you're going to have a policy that people think is a good idea, and it's the norm, and it's the law, but it doesn't mean that it's right. It doesn't mean that it's right. Let's be realistic. How many seatbelts save lives, right? If somebody doesn't want to wear a seatbelt, how are you going to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to give you a ticket and charge you money because you didn't wear a seatbelt? Dude, get out of my car. Get out of my life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wear my seatbelt. I would wear my seatbelt without. But I understand if somebody doesn't want to wear a freaking seatbelt, all right? Like, let people be. Just let them be. So now with Superman, with Cap and Spider-Man, they had this good heart-to-heart, and Cap gives that line at the very end from himself. He says, sometimes it doesn't matter if you believe in something. It doesn't matter if the whole world stands up against you and tells you to move. You plant yourself like a tree and you say, no, you move. And that was beautiful. And freaking Spider-Man is over there. He totally Girl Scouts out, and he's like, Can I carry your books to school? No, seriously, can I do your homework? Like, dude, you are the best. You are amazing. Like, it was such a great pep talk that he was just like, you know, oh my God, he became infatuated. And he was always his biggest hero. And then you look over in the Ultimates universe, the 1610 universe, Spider-Man looked up to Captain America more than anyone. You know, he was his biggest hero. And saved his life at essentially leading to the cost of his own. I think that Captain America is going to be in the second. I'm hoping Captain America is going to be in the second movie, the second Spider-Man movie. All right, and they're going to have a falling out, and they're going to team up, and there's going to be a lot more drama than this, you know, this baloney mentor relationship where it's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a father figure. Can I have a hug? No, I'm opening the door for you. Get out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that he's going to get a lot from, like, how can Tony Stark be a father figure? He never had a father. You know what I'm saying? He never had a father. So how can he be a father figure? I don't think he might learn something from it, but I don't think he's going to be taking, I think he's going to be taking more from it than anything else. Captain America, however, I think could be a good father figure. I think that he would be the father figure that Peter Parker really needs. And that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. And then after we get that, you know, love-hate and then love relationship in the next Spider-Man movie, then I think, not in that movie, but maybe in a follow-up Marvel movie, that's when Captain America Steve Rogers can die. And that's when it'll mean something so much, because they'll let it breathe. They'll actually let it breathe. All right, my hair is drying, and it's going in my face now. So, what do you call it? That's how I felt about Kick-Ass. Yeah. I agree. You can fit in sequels to show how the world got to the point. Kick-Ass, yeah. Yeah, you could. And fast forward to Batman Beyond with Terry and somewhere in a Static movie. A Static movie would be good. And I heard that Static was actually supposed to be in the Injustice 2, but they cut him at the last minute. Why? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Duh. It's just, that's stupid. To me, that's stupid. Whatever. They'll probably do in a later DLC. That's how people make their money in video games now. Here's a video game. You like it? Yeah. Well, that's only a third of the video game. The rest is in DLCs that you have to buy. Oh, I hate that. Didn't happen back in my day of video games. Legend of Zelda, you bought that gold cartridge. That was your game. Captain America will die lifting Mjolnir, sacrificing himself against Thanos. See, that's a possibility too. I was thinking that's a possibility too, Dick Fillmore. But I think that this would work also. I'm just saying. Maybe he'll be at the end credit scene, Homecoming. Bird, dude, that would be awesome. Nerd fact, Charles Xavier got the suits for his 1975 new X-Men team from Reed Richards. Yeah. Actually, I think that you're right, because Reed Richards invented unstable molecules. Even Henry Pym, when he was way back in like the early 60s, when he became Ant-Man for the first time in Tales to Astonish, he was wearing unstable molecules, and it was referenced back that that it was invented by Reed Richards over the Fantastic Four. Yes, yeah, I agree, because that's how they're able to stretch and use their costumes that way. Hopeful DLC, yeah, Raiden and Static DLC. I think they should throw in Black Lightning, personally, because they got the TV show coming out. So, is what it is. It's okay, buddy. My son's talking to me. It's all right, buddy. Just go ahead and play, all right? I'll be out in a minute. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Just make sure it's safe, okay? It's okay. My son is nervous because a decoration fell off of a mirror. So anyway, what do you call it? Or was I? Okay, so anyway, I feel that that's what they could do. And I think that Marvel could do something like that because they're willing to let a movie breathe, you know? Yeah, I know that Chris Evans' contract is up-ish, but, you know, whatever. They could literally do whatever they want to do. They could literally do whatever they want to do. But if they were to pull off something like that, that would be great. I heard that Sony is letting Fantastic Four play in the Marvel Universe, in the MCU. Okay, okay, I see that you're talking about Fox. Sony only owns Spider-Man. Sony Pictures only owns Spider-Man. Fox owns the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Not even just the X-Men, but all the mutants. What do you call it? I think that's set up for Doom to nab the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh my God, that would just be so great. I just want extra credit. Extra credit for you, buddy. You got it. Brownie points, in fact. But anyway, so yeah. Anyway, that's just my fan fiction, I guess, that they could totally pull off something like that. I think they could totally pull off something like that. In the meantime, yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I don't know if I want to let this keep going for too long. But, guys, I will plug that next week, scheduled, that Lewis from the Geek Fortress is coming back. You can find the Geek Fortress in the description below. You can jump over to the Geek Fortress in YouTube. Lewis is doing a bunch of videos. His next season of Superhero Quickies is coming up. I believe his premiere episode is going to be about Nightwing. So what I explained in about, I think it was 2 minutes and 32 seconds, dude, he's a big-time character. It had to take longer than a minute. He's going to expand upon in his Superhero Quickie, which is usually about 8 to 12 minutes long. About 8. But, and also you can check out the, just the custodian here. You can also check out the Geek Fortress on Facebook, and you'll see me popping in there every so often. I'm one of the moderators. I crack jokes with people once in a while, and I throw up a superhero contest once in a while. You know, what do you think? Who do you think would win? But, and comment on quite a few pictures. Anyway, you will, you'll get to see Lewis back next week. We're going to be discussing another movie. We decided that we're going to talk about Superman Unbound. So if you guys want to do your homework and go and check out Superman Unbound, Unbound, right? I think it's Unbound. Anyway, the one with Manchester Black in it. It's an animated movie. It's going to be some good stuff. We're going to be talking about that. He actually, I was FaceTiming him yesterday. He's like, "Why do you want to do that one of all things? After we just did Batman vs Superman, why do you want to do Batman? Or why do you want to do Superman again?" I was like, "Well, because we talked about who Superman wasn't, and I feel that this animated movie shows who Superman is more than anything else. And if anybody loves Superman more than me, I would say it'd have to be Lewis." But so his agreement is awesome. So I think that we might call that particular podcast "Love Letter to Superman." But anyway, yeah. So expect that next week on next week's podcast. It will be a joint live podcast, and yeah, go check out the Geek Fortress. Good stuff. And anyway, guys. All right, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.